What is up, all forms of social media? James Joseph Edward Jesperger Jr., but please call me Jimmy for short. Today is another podcast episode, and maybe the one that people tune into the most, ironically, just because of the topic and where people want to see where I am now. Today is currently May 23rd, 2021. And judging by the title of this podcast episode, it's probably going to be like 1 year anniversary or a year of weight loss or something like that. Officially, sorry I couldn't make it sooner, busy schedule, but May 6th, 2020, I had decided to go on my never-ending lifestyle change of my weight loss journey. Doesn't mean I'm always going to be losing weight, but just means that I'm at a different state of my life and a different lifestyle change and who I am as a person, etc. So May 6, 2020 was the beginning of the weight loss journey. And then it is officially, as you can tell by the date of today, May 23rd, it has been 1 year and a couple weeks since then. But this podcast episode is for anybody who wants to hear more about me, who wants to know more about weight loss, or you're on your journey yourself. Now, this video isn't necessarily just going to help somebody losing weight. It can help somebody gaining weight. It can help somebody in a different mental state. It can help somebody physically, mentally, holistically, emotionally, all that types of stuff. It can also help you in your goals. This video, to me, I was trying to plan it to be like perfect, and I was like, I want to write out like a topics thing and like all this perfect stuff. And that's not just how I run sometimes. Sometimes I love the improvness of just creating something and allowing it to be beautiful itself. And that's been a lot of my stuff lately, which is awesome. How I've gotten a lot of my jobs so far in a good way. But this video will be, or this podcast episode also will be, an hour of me just talking about my year experience. I will probably talk about who God knows what for a very long time. But then I have some listed topics that I probably will get into a little bit here and there. And if I need them, I can look at them and then we'll go from there. But so let's start. Did I mention that I don't edit these? So let's start with the first thing. What did I do and why did I do it? And this will branch off into all these different topics of like how I did it, etc. Blah, blah, blah. But what did I do and how did I do it? A year ago, I was not in a good state. If you watched my first weight loss video on the podcast for, Lions Pride, Lions Heart podcast, or Lions Roar, I should say, because that's the official podcast name. I was not in a good place a year ago. Well, by that point, I was already on my weight loss journey, and I was actually feeling pretty good in the first couple weeks. But a week or two beforehand, May 6th of 2020, I was not in a good state. I was not happy with myself. Obviously, physically, I was not happy with myself emotionally at all. And mentally, I was dealing with a lot in my head. If you didn't watch my first podcast episode of my weight loss, I would definitely watch that first, just so you get a little bit of bearing. But this will come as a trigger warning inserted here. I was suicidal. I was at a point where I was not happy with myself in any capacity. I thought the pandemic was going to help me, strive to be a streamer and strive to be the YouTuber I've always wanted to be since 2006, ever since YouTube started. And I kind of fell in battle kind of thing. Like I felt like I wasn't winning a fight. I wasn't doing anything good. And I made a bet with myself that I do not recommend anybody doing, because the only reason I did it is because I knew I would succeed if I made this bet with myself. I said, in a year, I would like to lose this amount of weight. And if I don't do it, I either have two options. I can either do the deed, as you can probably guess what it is, or I can donate a large sum of money that I don't have, that I will forever be working off, into a charity of my choice. Now, the second option doesn't sound horrible. But back then, and even still now, I don't have that much money. Now, in relation to where I was before and like working stable jobs, now that the pandemic is gone essentially, and I'm performing and doing all the work that I have, I am making good means now. I'm very happy with where I'm at, and things are progressively getting better and better and better. But at that point, things were not going well. So I made a voice memo on my phone. I wrote a paperless or inkless, I don't know what you call that quote, but like an inkless contract with myself, and I did it by voice, and I said, in a year, if I do not complete this, I will do the bet and we'll see what happens. My goal was I wanted to get down to 180, which I beat with flying colors. If you've been following me on Instagram or TikTok, trust me, I've beaten those numbers. Even in the first 6 months, I think I beat 180. I started off this weight loss journey at 237 pounds. No, that is not the heaviest weight I've ever been, but it definitely was a pinnacle point of me going, man, I am fat as shit. Like, that was where I was like, you need to fix yourself. By the way, just as some like requirements and like some statistics, or some numbers, just so you can know how bad I was and how bad my body was. And now that I know now and looking back, I'm like, man, my body was really in a bad state back then. I'm a 5'7" male. I was 237 pounds. And for those who don't know, 5'7" males who are kind of on the smaller side with no muscle should be somewhere anywhere between like 130s and 150s. I was 237 pounds. And my BMI eventually, hopefully, I'm currently at 158, 157. I will try and get down to 140s, and then I'll see how I look. I would like to get down to 10 to 12% body fat. That's my end of the video kind of like goal, and you already kind of heard it, but I have way more goals than that after this. But my main goal is I want it, for now, to get down to 10%, 12% body fat, and then I want to start doing some things that I'll tell at the end of the video. But I was not in a good state, so I finally told myself, you know what? You need to lose this weight. And losing the weight, you will eventually get the mental and emotional help that you need, because you'll feel better about yourself. And I think a lot of people think when they get into the weight loss journeys, or they get into the weight gain journeys, or they get into their own journeys, they think that the physical thing is going to fix everything. They think that once they get to a certain weight, you're going to have all the girls or all the guys or any person that you're interested in, things are just going to come easier to you. Now, I'm not going to lie, things did somewhat come easier to me. When I am casted now as a character, I don't play the fat guy, or I don't play the chubby kid, or I don't play a kid as much anymore. I get to play the good-looking guy now. Like, not that I necessarily think I'm that good-looking, but I get to play the skinny guy. I get to play the high schooler that didn't have weight issues, I get to play the guy that's not just the comic relief, or I don't get to play I get to finally play like the lover or the heartthrob, And I'm not gonna lie, people do look at me differently than before. I thought that I was a pretty jolly, easygoing guy, no pun on jolly and Santa and being big and stuff like that. But I thought I was a pretty easygoing guy. And now that I talk to people more, I notice that people actually treat me a little bit different. It's not necessarily a huge difference, but it's definitely a difference of like, I also noticed at one point, people will never know me as big anymore. Like, from now on, they will only know me as what they see me as. And when I met these new people that I work in a theater company with, I told them I'm actually on my weight loss journey still, even though it's my lifestyle and it's been a while, and I'm so happy, and nothing has changed I'm still losing weight and everything's going well. I mean, like, nothing has changed in like my demeanor to like go back, or to like go back to the old self. Like, there's no bone in my body that will ever go back to that, thankfully. And they look at me like, whoa, like I can't even imagine that now. And some people still know me from the times I was bigger to now, and there's a huge drastic change. So I finally decided to lose the weight. I went into a caloric deficit. Now, for those who don't know, in layman's terms, a caloric deficit is your body needs a certain amount of calories in a day. to either maintain your weight, to gain weight, or to lose weight. If you would like to lose weight, you have to either eat under the calories that you need to maintain in a day, or you need to eat a certain amount of calories and then find out how much you need to work off in the day. You can do a mix of both. That's actually what I do. I do a mix of eating less and working out more, which just has brought me way more gains and, statures and better things. It helped me out way better. Some people just want to eat less, and some people just want to work out more. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Now, it would be the opposite if you wanted to gain weight. If you were in a caloric surplus, that means that you eat more calories than you need in a day, and you would gain that. You also can lift weights. I had a ton of people throughout this weight loss journey ask me, well, Jimmy, what are you doing for like running? What are you doing for exercising? What are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? You're obviously lifting weights. I have been lifting weights off and on since 2010, I believe. And people looked at me when I was bigger and, look at me now with a little bit more confidence than before. But people would question my lifting ability and like what knowledge I knew. And I've been studying that shit and that stuff since 2010. Like for 11 years, for off and on, I've been working myself out, trying to get to a point and such like that. And I know all this knowledge, and no one ever knew it or thought I knew it because of my stature and who I am as a person and what I looked like. Now I don't get as much judgment about that because it's not the fat guy telling you to run or to do the caloric deficit or anything like that. Now it's the guy who's lost weight, or even just a skinny guy now who's telling you how to do it, which, more people that have actually lost weight should be telling people how to do this than just people who have never had a weight issue in their life telling people to do it. I understand that you're a certified personal trainer, but it's way different going through it and telling somebody how to do it than fucking not ever dealing with the thing and then telling somebody to deal with trauma when they haven't dealt with that trauma. So I was like, what kind of thing do I want to do? Because I don't want to lift. I want to get down to the skinniest weight I can without lifting. I don't want to gain any muscle. Not muscle on purpose. Like I wanted to gain muscle just from running or doing cardio or something. I didn't want to go into the gym and be like, I'm going to gain 10 pounds of muscle with my biceps. That's not possible in a year, but just putting that out there. Crazy example. So I thought of, a few years ago, in 2015, I believe, I ran a 10K, and I did not train for it well. I didn't do it well. For those who don't know, 10Ks are 6.2 miles. And it was a Dorney Park run. I did it with my friends from Arcadia, and I came in last place in my age division, and did not prepare for it well at all. I think I was still like 190s or like 200 pounds when I did that. Was not the run for me. It was not the thing I should have been doing at that time. And I thought to myself, I always told myself I wanted to be a runner again. Like I wanted to actually beat that time and show myself that I could actually do it if I really wanted to. So one of my best friends, Sam, I asked her to write me a running program. She did. And but at first I asked her, what do you do when you have not ran and you have not done cardio? Because before I went on this weight loss journey, by the way, I didn't get into it with the weight loss podcast first episode. But I was eating like so bad. I was eating really, really bad. I was eating Pizza Hut like every other day. I was eating fast food every single day. I was eating Arby's or Panera or like all this junk food. Like, and here's the thing. And a ton of people think like, oh, well, Jimmy, you just don't eat fast food and like you lose weight. You can still lose weight eating fast food. You can gain weight eating fast food. It just matters how you maintain or how you surplus or deficit your food, I could literally lose weight still eating Big Macs every day. You know what I mean? Like, it matters how much you put into your body versus calories in versus calories out. But I was eating so bad to the point of like, I wasn't drinking soda. Like, soda has always been out of my life since I drank so much soda until I got scared of getting diabetes in high school. So around think 2009 or 2010 when I started like lifting. Actually, it might have been in 2011. I completely cut out soda. I have not had a soda without like alcohol, like a mixed drink. I have not had soda just straight since in like 10 years. That's crazy for me to think about. I also haven't had McDonald's in that amount of time either. My last time having McDonald's, I think was around that same time too, like 2010, I would say. And that was a huge crux for me. That was a huge thing. Soda and McDonald's were the two things that I could not stop. And then eventually my newest crutch were two things. It was iced tea and it was Wawa. Now, I could go into Wawa now and like get the things. Like there have been a few times I like could not make meals in prep time. So like I thought about getting Wawa or like just waiting till I get home to eat or cook. And I could go in and Wawa's actually pretty proficient with that stuff. I could go in and just look at the caloric intake of things and just be like, oh, I can eat this, or the macros on this are pretty good. I could do that now. But I did not trust myself in the beginning. Hell no. And even their cooking stations, I would have to look up their calories or ask them for a chart if they even had one in Wawa, which I don't even know if they do that. But back to the running part. I was running 5 minutes a day. And then it slowly turned into a mile, slowly turned into 2 miles, and then I eventually got all the way up to 6 miles. I can run more than 6 miles. I just have never tested it because it's not something that I'm looking to do right now. I would love to try and run a half marathon at one point. I don't think that's in my cards, though. I kind of like sprinting more than I like distance now. But we'll see because my sprinting is getting pretty damn good. I'll say it like this. I like sprinting for the goals. I don't like distance for the goals, but I like running distance more because it's easier on my body. Sprinting is a little bit harder, as you can probably tell on the knees and everything. But now I'm a runner. I can say that officially. Like, I am a runner. Yeah, runner, chicken donor. So that's basically what I did. I ate less, I worked out more, and this is going to be something that people are going to be like, oh, well, yeah, it's easier just to say it than it is to do it. But I kind of made an unwritten rule for myself. I was like, Jimmy, you need to be happier. You need to just think positive. You need to do the things that you want to do and be happier, because that's always been something I've been struggling with, just doing the things that I want to do. And it worked out for the best for me. Also, anybody who is gaining weight, losing weight, you're on your fitness journey, the best thing I can tell you to do, and I also did this, it helped out a lot, weigh yourself in a healthy manner. I'm not going to say weigh yourself every day. You probably should, but some people get really anal and crazy about that. I would say weigh yourself every day, but you need to be healthy with yourself and understand your own boundaries. Me and most people, I feel like, quote unquote, most people, I feel like I can weigh myself every day and not have it hinder myself. Now, there were a few times I did get a little like, man, I wish I was like a pound lighter here and there, but you got to do what's best for you. The most important thing is every day, no matter what, you should be taking a progress picture, no matter what. No matter if you're a pound over, a pound under, you're at the same weight you've been for the last couple weeks, you should always be taking pictures. That's one regret that I actually kind of have. I took, and I still do take pictures and video as much as I can, now even more than before. But there was a time I was a little nervous about taking pictures because I was like, oh, this isn't going to look good. It's like, yeah, but you need something to show how well you look in the mid-process. When you look back, there are pictures now I'm so proud of that I took of like even a month ago, 2 months ago, that I look at now and I'm like, wow, there's a huge difference in my body comparatively to now. Because I was also one of those people that I didn't notice the changes in the first like 4 months of this weight loss journey. People keep telling me, oh, you're in a diet. I'm not in a diet, and I'm in a lifestyle change. Because diets end, you know. But I look back even a few months and I'm like, whoa, things have freaking changed. So Eating and workouts. Eating for me is super simple. Whatever I want to eat and my caloric deficit, I can eat. Most days I do eat chicken and rice, but I eat like chicken nuggets, chicken tenders for the chicken, and I eat white rice. Then for my snack at the end of the day, which I already did, and even I'm still hungry. It's actually kind of ironic. Tonight is a night I know I might be a pound like under. I might lose another pound the next day when I'm hungry the night before. Like even after eating all my extra food, drinking all my water, I'm like kind of still hungry, and I'm like, ooh, I'm probably gonna be underweight tomorrow, which is a great thing. So I eat, and then I eat a bagel and a smoothie at the end of the night. Banana, strawberry, yogurt mix, and bagel with peanut butter on top of it. So I do 2 spoons on each. And I eat about, so my TDE scale is, well, now I'm kind of like evening out in a way. I'm probably going to update my running program a little bit soon. I'm probably going to update my eating soon. But, yeah, I eat about 2,000 calories a day. I actually eat less than 2,000 usually, because I'm more of a person, like, if I can eat a little bit less, I'm going to feel better about myself. Now, if I'm super hungry and I need to eat something, I will add in some micronutrients like fruit or celery, or maybe some extra peanut butter on the bagel, or I'll eat like a little cookie of something. You'd be surprised. Some Snackwell items and such can be like 20 calories per cookie or something, or 40. It's not that bad. Then, so I had my eatings, I had my workouts. My workouts I kind of already explained. So this video is more on the topic of like, how do I feel after the year? I can say without a doubt, this year has been probably the best year in my entire life. And I want to say that, like, there have been some crazy stuff, and there's been better things that have happened in my, years of living. But I genuinely think this is my best year of my life. Like 2020, middle of 2020 to now, even though I've had so many heartaches, so many issues, so many things, I think that this was my best year so far. Since now from May 6th, I think this has been my best year. I not only say that because of the, physical changes I've gone through, but also the emotional and mental changes I've gone through like crazy. In a year, from May 6th to May 6th of 2020 to 2021, I have lost 80 pounds, which is phenomenal, crazy. Most people can't even do that in any point of their life, and I can happily say now I have lost 80 pounds in a short amount of time. I actually really lost the 80 pounds in 11 months. So if people ask me sometimes, they're like, well, how fast did you lose the weight? Are you still losing the weight that fast? I genuinely lost weight fast up until about 60-ish pounds, like 60 to 65, 70-ish pounds. I'm not going to lie, the last couple of pounds have been hard just because I'm getting closer and closer to that 10% body fat realm. I don't think I'm under 20% body fat yet. I actually have to look that up later. I will look up that later, and I'll tell you guys later. But we'll do a whole video of like my fat percentages and my body. I would love to go get a DEXA scan. That would actually be amazing to do. But yeah, so there's been a ton of differences. So let's get into the differences in workout first. Working out has become so much easier on my body. Athletically, I'm the most athletic and healthy I've ever been in my fucking life. And I say that with genuine confidence, like in my entire life. Even when I was a kid, I really feel like I can do anything. I could go into a tumbling class and like learn, or I could go off skydiving and not worry about my heart or diabetes or anything like that. I genuinely feel the most athletic in my life. So that means not only do my workout change, like my workouts change from the beginning, I also add on extra sprints or extra miles if I feel it, if I want to do it, if I'm feeling happy. So my endorphins are going crazy because I'm doing way more and I'm so much more happier than I was before. Difference in body. So I thought I had muscular arms this entire time. Nope. I have pretty skinny arms. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have muscles underneath, but my definition is better now. Like, I didn't know how much definition I needed in my arms. Same thing with my legs. Like, my legs are actually still kind of big just because of my family line, but I still have a lot of muscle in my legs just because I'm running. I have never in my life been able to feel my abs, like, and now I can sit down and like play with where my abs are. Like, that's how much weight I have left, like the small amount of weight I have left. Now, something that I don't necessarily know the answer to yet, and I hope to find out, and I hope to actually schedule, maybe even tomorrow I'll do it, but I hope to schedule a physical checkup with my doctor because I haven't since before the pandemic and before this weight loss journey, obviously. I might have loose skin on me, and I'm not entirely sure just because I am at 158, 157 right now, and I sometimes feel my body and like where my love handles are and where like my stomach is, and I feel my abs and I feel like things that feel like it's almost like, and I grab the stomach area or like my love handles, and sometimes it feels more like loose skin than it does fat. And sometimes I'm like, wow, like that's a good and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because it's like, man, I still, like, if it's not loose skin, it's like, oh my God, then I still have to lose this weight, and like I'm kind of happy about it. But there's also the thing of like, oh, well, if it's loose skin, I might never lose it now, you know? I might be dealing with that for the rest of my life, or I might have to get surgery to get it off. Now, I'm not a person who like is like, I definitely need skin surgery if I lost all this weight. I genuinely don't care too much, too much, because I'm at a point now where even if I maintain for the rest of my life, my abs somewhat show through now, and the loose skin doesn't look horrible. I'm very lucky that if it's loose skin, it's just where it's supposed to be, and it lays actually kind of okay. I wish my love handles went in a little bit more, but I'm still losing weight, and I'm actually still, quote unquote, gaining a little bit of muscle as I'm running. I'm not gaining muscle specifically yet until I get to 10 to 12% body fat. So you guys will see a huge difference when I start gaining weight. Also, on top of that, if I start gaining muscle, it's going to fill out the extra areas that I, lost the weight in, or if I have loose skin in, we'll see. I'm probably going to have a little bit of loose skin. They usually say anybody over 100 pounds, if you lose 100 pounds of weight, of fat, they usually say you're going to have loose skin. But I've only lost 80 pounds so far. But if I lose what I think I'm going to get up to, I might lose up to 90 pounds. And I'm probably going to be 90 pounds at this point. On top of that, my chest has gone down so much. Like, you can see, the other thing about my body is, speaking of chest, you can see the indentations of like where my tendons are, or my ligaments, or like my muscles are. It's crazy. The thing I love the most is, though, and some people hate it on their bodies, I love it now just because I've never been on this side of my body before. My ribs show all the time now, and my abs are coming in. Like, really, really slowly they're coming in. But, like, some people look at my stomach and they're like, oh my God, you actually look like you have abs now. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I look fit. I look good. Still working on it, and you can't spot reduce, but my chin... That's another thing too. My face has been the slimmest thing. Like, I was so nervous in the beginning of this weight loss journey. I thought my face was going to keep its like pudginess, and that's the first thing people comment on. It's usually my face and my love handles. That's the two things people usually comment on first. They go, oh my God, your face is so thin. Oh my God, you have a jawline. Like, I look in the mirror now and I go like, I'm not as nervous as I used to be about my jawline. Like, I used to have kids make fun of me. They used to call me Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy because he has no chin, or like no neck, and it just goes straight up. And I was like, man, I want to have a chiseled jawline, and I'm getting there. It is more chiseled than some people. I would not even most people, but I would say like a good amount of people, because I'm getting fit. But I still have my, you always have your requirements for yourself, or like your goals. And my goal, it's trust me, when I take off a mask now comparatively from before, I look way different. I'm so happy with how I look. Like, that's the other thing too. A ton of people think this is a difference between the beginning and the middle and the end. A ton of people think that like I have these unreachable goals. Like, a lot of my family even still goes, "Are you sure you're not, trying to lose too much weight? Are you sure you're not skinny enough?" I'm like, no, 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 no. Trust me, I know where I'm at. I'm very proud of myself, but I know where I want to go, and I know what I have to do to get there. All in good ways. Feeling. Oh, God. So a difference in feeling. One example is I can get into a car. I can buckle my seatbelt and not worry about it like hitting my body or pulling against my chest or anything like that. Sometimes seatbelts are too loose on me now. I'm like, whoa. Another difference in feeling is when I put on clothes. My love handles don't push against my shirt anymore. Well, it matters the type of shirt. Also a thing on feeling, I wear all smalls now. Like, everything. I wear small shorts, small pants, small shirts, small tank tops. I'm even wearing a small shirt right now. The only thing I technically still don't wear a small in is sometimes pants. Just because, ironically, I'm going to get the smart asses who go, well, you never wear a small if you have a number. I went from a size, well, that's not even my biggest pant size. My biggest pant size at one point was like a 46 or a 44. The biggest I remember, like when I was 237, was 42. I wear a size, the smallest pants I fit into now is a size 28 men's. 28 men's. I could wear kids' clothes if I really wanted to. Like, the young, like, guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. When you go into a Target or TJ Maxx or a Walmart and they have like the guys section, but then they have like the young teens section, I could probably fit in some of that clothing. Like, no lie. Like, it's so funny for me to think about that. I'm actually wondering if maybe at a point I'm going to fit in an extra small. And I don't want to get that small. And I don't want to stay that small forever. But I would like to see what I can push my body to healthily. But I am in all smalls. Now, sometimes the shirt or the pants fits different. So, like, sometimes I might need a size, like, 30 pants. Or I might need a size medium in a shirt. But that's only because I'm hypercritical about my sides, and people look at me like I'm crazy, like, you could have got that in a small. I'm like, yeah, but like, I just don't want my sides showing off too much. But I haven't had that issue in like a month now. Like, all the shirts I thought were like too tight on the smalls all fit me now, and I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm so fucking happy. Also feeling is spatial awareness and like space and weather. Weather is probably the easiest thing for me to say. I'm always fucking cold now. Like, I'm always cold. Now, not to be sexist, I don't mean this in a sexist tone, but I always had women saying, like, oh my God, I'm so cold. Like, why are you not cold? Women around me were always cold. And now I understand because of the body index thing and the muscle versus the fat in women versus men. I feel you now because I am always cold now. I have 80 pounds less of fat on me than I did before, and I don't have any storage of fat to warm me up or energy. Fat is also energy storers. So now I'm like, what do I do for warmth? So now I wear a lot of hoodies. I wear a lot of long sleeve shirts just because I have to, because I'm cold. Spatial awareness. I don't worry about passing by people anymore. I don't worry about like getting by somebody or like getting through a car. Like, when you walk through cars and everything, I know this is like stupid stuff. When I sit down, I don't worry about the seat. I don't worry about like sitting on a couch now. I don't worry about people being close to me, or like in a car. I don't worry about people being close to me just because I know I'm smaller now. I know I don't have to worry about that stuff. The only thing I kind of still worry about, and it's a guy thing, is just, man spreading or like putting your legs out, because now that I'm more athletic, I'm noticing that like my body likes to stretch and my body likes to move a lot. So I just worry about like my body moving a lot, and I want to make sure I'm like holding myself in or like allowing myself to just be in the space and not have to like move around and be everywhere, kind of thing. Also space it's weird to just say, and I know I kind of already answered this part, but it's interesting just being smaller in what you used to consider yourself big in your own body and in your own space. And I know it's the ironic smart-ass comment of, well, Jimmy, yeah, you literally lost 80 pounds. Like, you literally are a smaller person. It's just like, no, walking around and like being in your body, I don't have the problems on my knees. Like, I was getting to a point, I was so heavy that my lower back was hurting, and I would throw out my back just from being heavy. Like, that's how bad it was. Difference in mood and emotion. Ooh, and then I have difference in tolerance and determination. Those are two completely different things, especially to me. Let's do difference in mood. Now, I do have my days. We all have our days. I'm not going to lie. But I am definitely in a better spot mood-wise when it comes to looking at myself. Now, before, if a shirt didn't fit me well or pants didn't fit me well or I looked, fat, quote-unquote, in a picture or, like, in the mirror, that would affect my entire day or my entire week. That would affect me full-heartedly, and I would not want to go out. I would not want to see people. Now I'm at a very good spot where, especially, I accept my body too. Like, even if I looked like a shirt, like this shirt today, perfect example. This shirt today looked tight on me. Not tight in a bad way, tight actually in a good way. It looked like it was accentuating my nipples because my nipples show in all shirts now, but like my nipples and my chest lines and my striations of my chest coming out and everything, I looked really good. I was super happy about it. And but another part of me was like, you're wearing a tight shirt. You shouldn't be wearing a tight shirt because you're a bigger guy. And I had to tell myself, no, you're actually not. You actually lost a ton of weight and you actually look really good. So that's how my mood affects me now. Like, I don't allow the fat or my body or my clothing to affect who I am as a person, because in the long run, you just have to go out and do the things that you need to do. It doesn't matter what you look like. No one's going to look like, even if people look at you like that and they're like, they judge you by your looks, who the fuck cares? It's your life. You will do what you want to do. Don't worry about other people. That's what I've realized about my mood about all that stuff, because I would think like, oh, well, what if they don't like me because I'm wearing a tight shirt? It's like, no one's even looking at your tight shirt. Who cares? Why are you that important? Then on top of that, emotion, this is kind of obvious, but a lot of people forget about it. When you're bigger and you have more energy and you don't expend like your calories as you should and your energy as you should, and you have more like hormones in your body because you're eating more food and you're just bigger and you have more fat storage on you, your emotion is affected by your weight too. I felt way more moody before, like, especially with just the food I was eating too, and like how much energy I had on me. I wasn't like expending my energy into things. I was also lazy. My emotion affected. Then on top of it, I was depressed because I was fat. I was depressed or like angry or upset because I was fat or I didn't look good in something, and it just affected my emotional state. And on top of that, it just makes you like, as a person, defeated. You're like, man, I don't feel good about anything. Like, and especially like, I've realized more and more, you could be emotional as fuck. Maybe this is just me, but like, I feel like you can be emotional as fuck. You can be depressed as fuck. You can be, not right mentally. You could be not right emotionally. But I feel like even if you didn't have all of that and you still didn't feel good in your body, I feel like even that might affect you more. And it especially affects you more if you're not happy with your body, but you also, on top of that, aren't happy mentally or emotionally. Because what comes with being big, usually, like not being happy in your body, especially. Now, there are people out there who are bigger and have body positivity about that. I am all for that. Body positivity, if you want to have your body the way you want it, awesome. You do what you want to do. There are some people that just aren't happy in their bodies, though. And like, whether you're bigger or smaller and you're not happy with it, it does stem into mental and emotional states. So you really need to see how you are as a person. You really need to work on it, like, really. But yeah, it would affect. The difference now is my mood. I'm actually a pretty happy, more like, I thought I was happy and happy-go-lucky before and like calm. I'm actually way more happy-go-lucky, because that's another thing on my plate, an ironic pun there, I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about looking a certain way. I don't have to worry about smelling a certain way. I don't have to worry about like my appearance as much. I just be myself. I just do what I need to do, and I get it done because I'm not worried about that, and it's not affecting my performance. That's another thing too. It's not affecting me as like an actor or a performer or as a human being talking to people. It's just what I have. Like, it's crazy how much my body has become more scientific to me, or like what my temple is. Before it was like, oh my God, I have to be careful with my body. Now it's like, I'm still careful, but it's a different kind of careful. It's like, oh, it's just my body. It's like what I use. And like, it's like a video game. It's so true. Like, I heard somebody say before, your weight loss journey should be like a video game. Like, when you play a video game and you want your character to be the highest level in this, or like a D&D character, you want your character to be like super dexterous and super strength, and like you want your character to have all the fancy items. Why don't you do that for your body? Why don't you want it to be healthy and happy, and, you know, allow it to just be the best that it can be, like a video game? One of the last things I wanted to talk about on this list, and I feel like I'm using this list more than I thought, which is a good thing. Difference in tolerance and determination. Now, I'm not going to lie. I will be blunt honest as I try and always be, and I usually am now because of this stuff. My tolerance has changed in two different ways. Tolerance for things in general about myself has eased up. I think that now I'm like, you look hot. Like, that's the other thing about myself too. I forgot to say about feeling and emotions. Like, I feel hot. I feel sexy. I feel like I look like a good human being. I look like a nice strapping guy. You know, I feel like I look actually pretty good for myself. I have my tattoos. I have my piercings. I have my hair. Now I have the body that I wanted for it, you know, and I'm still even working on that. And I have goals. Like, I have determination. That makes me feel way better about like having this body, you know. But my tolerance for myself has gone, like, I still hold myself, it's an interesting topic. I still hold myself to a higher standard. I still hold myself to like this, like, you need to be awesome, you need to be good because you deserve it. That's the difference. It wasn't before, like, it wasn't like you need to be good because you're not good enough, you need to work harder. Now it's like you are worthy of it and you're good enough. And I try and tell myself as much as I can in the week, like, you are worthy, you are good. Tolerance for other things now, I've actually noticed now that I've gone through the weight loss journey, when people complain about weight loss or they complain about certain things, I will have as much sympathy and empathy as I can because I'm still an empath, like, full-heartedly. But now that I've gone through it and I know what it takes, I tell people blunt honestly, like, this is what it takes to do it. If you don't feel like you're ready for it, then don't go for it. You can try, but it's probably going to fail if you try, because you need to be 100,000% into this thing. You know, it's your life. If you want to work on other things, that's completely fine, but you need to work on yourself too. And then on top of that, determination. Sorry, I said that weird. Determination. Determination is something that now pushes me so hardcore. I had no drive. I felt like my life wasn't worthy of anything, and I made my life worthy. And I know that sucks to say because your life should be worthy no matter what, but I wanted to have a standard for myself. I wanted to have something that I was fighting and striving for, and the weight loss pushed me to be more the person that I knew that I always was and wanted to be, and knew that I could strive to be. And now that it's one of those things where it's like, now that I passed through the thing that I was determined to do, I know that I can do anything even more. Like, I've always known that people can do whatever they set their minds to if they really 1,000% go for it. Now I really understand that, and I really want to push and do everything that I can to be the person that I want to be. So, what are my goals? And sorry for the sniffling. Whenever I sit now after a long day of walking around, my congestion gets crazy. Now, maybe I'm just getting allergies or I'm getting old. My goals now. As I said earlier, I want to be 10 to 12% body fat. And then after 10 to 12% body fat, it's either two things. It's either I get to 10 to 12% body fat, or I can see a 6-pack abs, or I can see an 8-pack. I think I have an 8-pack underneath. I think I'm one of those guys that has the eighth, ab slot. I don't know what the hell they call that for right now, but if whichever one comes first, and then I want to start gaining muscle. And straight lean muscle. I don't want to gain any fat. Now, I know it's kind of impossible to not gain fat as you're essentially lean bulking, but I'm going to try as hard as I can just to gain muscle. I want to keep on my diet or, lifestyle change. I want to keep doing my caloric deficit as much as I can. But as I said to everybody else, because everybody's afraid I'm not going to be eating enough, I have to get to a point where I need to either maintain with the calories that I need so I can start gaining muscle, or I have to be in a caloric surplus soon. I do not want to add more food to my diet. I definitely could add more food. I could eat way more. Trust me, I could eat way more than I'm eating right now. But I'm in a good spot right now, and I don't want to rock the boat. It's a little bit of that. Like, and I know I can do anything. I said that earlier with the determination thing, but it's like you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to mess something up that's already going so well, right? Another goal of mine is actually, and it might come sooner than I thought. I would like to do a photo shoot of my yearly process, and I'm debating either doing my own photos, or I'm debating getting one of my headshot friends to do it for me, because I obviously need new headshots, because I do not look like the same person at all, with tattoos and everything. So I want to get one with just my face, and I want to get other ones with tattoos and everything. Just another off goal that I have talked about before, but it's not really a weight thing, but it's more of a determination weight kind of thing. I would like to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's just a goal for me for 2021. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to happen in this year, just because of how I need to progress myself, because I took some time off, and I need to post more videos again. But more things are coming. I have some more free time. I had a whole long week of learning a script that I was added into that I wasn't supposed to be in originally for the last fucking weekend of it, that I'm only going to be in one show of it. Ugh. But I think that's really it. Goals besides that, I would like to gain enough muscle that I can wear medium shirts, even though I'm still a small body. Like, I want to be like in medium shirts. That, like, with arms and chest being big. I kind of debated doing like a bodybuilding show, but I don't think that's me. I think it's me to a point, but I don't think it's me to like a show. I think it's just my personal thing that I want to get more into. I just noticed how much I can feel my vein right here. It's interesting. Well, there was another goal that I had too, and it's something important. I can't remember it now. Crap. This is great video, isn't it? Running. That's what I wanted to talk about. My running goals, as I said kind of earlier, I would like to do a half marathon eventually. But if not, I would just like to run 10 miles one day. I think I could do it now. Like, if you asked me tomorrow to run 10 miles, I think I could do it. And then besides that, I just want to be the most athletic self I can be. No matter if that's like one day I decide like, hey, I'm not going to run anymore. I just want to, I don't know, I want to walk. I want to power walk, or I want to do dancing, or I want to play video games for exercise. Like, that's another thing that I always tell myself too. Like, I have drums. I have all these other things that I could lose weight with, but I chose running for some strange reason. It's interesting how your body and mind kind of are on different lengths, and then they eventually become on the same length at some point. You would hope, But I think that's it for this video. There's so many other things that I could talk about. Actually, I'll talk about one more thing, and then I'll end the video. But I'll just say there's so many things I could talk about with this year, and who I am as a person, how much I've changed. And you can definitely see it in my face and who I am as a person and my demeanor. the other thing I've been doing is, if you haven't checked out my other social media, I do live stream on Twitch, and I do have a TikTok, and that blew up over the year. More for my tattoos, but that's also where I post my daily to somewhat daily weight loss videos saying about myself. So if you want to see more of a progression from that, this video is more just me talking to you guys, sitting down and relaxing with me. But I would love for people to see more of those videos and to get inspired. One thing that I thought was going to be my goal, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I was hoping to get my CPT certification this year. I don't think that's going to happen. My schedule is just too crazy. And the things that I want to do that are more important to me right now. I mean, I could train anybody right now on how to lose weight or gain muscle or workouts, because I've basically been doing it since 10 years ago. Man, I'm going to be 28 this year. That's crazy. But it's just that I don't have the CPT certification. But trust me, plenty of people out there that are personal trainers that don't have the certification, and they do this stuff for money. It's crazy how many people on different platforms just do this stuff. But that's a whole different topic. If you would like any certain content from me, please let me know. Any questions, comments, concerns about weight loss, about music, about me in general, about the arts, about performance, let me know. I have tons of things coming up that I need to prepare for, and you guys are going to see me way more on the internet soon. So I'm going to end that here. I didn't exactly get to an hour, but it's close enough. So as always, my name is James Joseph Edward Jesperger Jr., but please call me Jimmy for short, and I'll always see you guys in the next one. Peace.